Alright, what's going on, everybody? Make sure you follow, like, and subscribe. It's your man Beats by Lonze back in the building. And we about to blab and run our mouths a little bit. So we're gonna blabber our mouths a little bit. Hope y'all doing good. Thank you, Stream Elements, for letting everybody know that we are in the building. Alright, what's up, man? Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everybody. I just wanted to get in front of everybody today and talk and say, what's up, want to make sure that everybody's doing good. And I want to say I really appreciate everyone that is here from YouTube, from Twitch, from all of the streaming platforms. Also want to say thank you for the 15 people that have subscribed to me on Twitch. I really appreciate it. And today I'm in the studio. We are working on the 12 days of Christmas. Now, what the 12 days of Christmas is about is I come in the studio, I select 12 drum machines, and I make a Christmas track on 12 drum machines. And at the end of the 12 days of Christmas, I will take those 12 tracks that I produced on those 12 machines. Merry Christmas. I'll take those 12 tracks that I produced on those machines and I'll drop a beat tape. I am not sure if I'm going to drop the beat tape for free. Probably not. I'm probably not going to drop the beat tape for free because you get all of the making of the beats free on YouTube. You get the, so if you go back and watch the making of the beat, you get that free anyway. And so, by putting it on Bandcamp, that will allow you to support independent artists such as myself and, do a little work. So today I just wanted to talk about a couple things I had on my mind while I was sitting here in the studio trying to get my situation together. So there's going to be 12 days, 12 beats, 12 drum machines, 1 beat tape. Today we worked on the MPC-X. And on the MPC-X, we created a beat for the first day. So day 1 was a success. However, I had a little bit of issues with my volume on my mic. My mic was too loud, so I was coming in hot on the mic, and then the mic actually picked up a lot of the sounds from my beat that I made. Love this freaking X, man. Still is no it can't compete with the Live 3, but it is right there on par with what I needed to do. But anyway, Yeah, I wanted to blab my mouth again today. I was on YouTube over the weekend, um, during the weekend, over the weekend, and I keep running across a content creator, well-known content creator, YouTuber that is a music producer, and I'm trying to listen in and soak in the knowledge that this music producer has. But every time I watch the channel, I kind of just I get a nasty spirit within myself when I'm watching this particular person's channel, and it just often just rubs me the wrong way when I'm watching the channel. Now, I know what you're thinking. I have the option to swipe and move on from this channel. I have the option to not watch the channel, to not let it hinder my spirit as far as what I'm hearing when I'm watching this person on YouTube. However, I'm always drawn to see if the content is going to change. Right? I'm drawn in to see if this person who has all this knowledge of music production and all these um, connections and all these networks in the music industry is going to change as far as their content and what they're trying to push out to the community. And what I found that I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, and hopefully they'll come around to my spirit just being like there's something off about it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just have a feeling that something is kind of off. And so, yeah, when I watch that particular channel, I'm always feeling like something is particularly off. And what I've often found, what's turned me off really, is that in this particular channel, um, instead of inspiring music producers, instead of teaching music producers the things that you think that you should teach them, or what you the direction you think that music should go in, instead of teaching that, it's a lot of bashing. It's a lot of like pretty much saying like, nah, nanny boo boo, I know this information, you don't. If you've been around long enough, you should know this information already. You know what I'm saying? It's like passive aggressive almost. Now, I am passive aggressive myself, so I understand passive aggressiveness when I see it. Um, However, I know that about myself, so a lot of times when I find myself being that way, I have to like just catch myself to like try to better myself, right? But I just found that you know some content creators on the channel thrive off of the negativity. And one thing I dislike is that when I find that something is negative all the time, I remove myself out of that equation quick, fast, in a hurry, and I don't leave myself into those instances when I run into those things. Like say for instance, if I'm around somebody that's always begging to borrow money, right? And they never like have money, or they always lose money, or they always spend their money, or they don't budget their money, but they're always asking, always asking, always asking. I'm gonna always remove myself from that equation because that is gonna bother me that that person is always borrowing money. You get what I'm saying? Or borrowing food, or borrowing whatever it is the case. They're always asking for something, but they never can give, or they never give off the feeling that if they had it they would give. You get what I'm saying? So when I find myself in company like that, and I don't find myself in that type of company often, I remove myself as far as possible from those equations. And so when I'm talking about this social media stuff, I find myself the same way. If I find that there's something that just don't click right with me, I remove myself off of it. So I just thought I'd bring it up that while watching this content creator, and I've been trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, I found that over the course of many videos, I just still can't get their message that they're trying to give, and I think that it's a bad negative connotation that they're speaking out to the public, and this is somebody who's, you know, well known in the music industry, well known as far as like beat production, and well known as far as like who they know and who's who and blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, that don't mean anything. So if y'all think that these people that are sit so high on the scale, that sit so high on these pedestals are these giants, they are people just like you. So, you know, I was taught when I was in the Marine Corps, we used to get like all endowed about, you know, the E9s that would come through, and they'd talk to us, and we'd be like, oh, you know, a sergeant major such and such is you know here, and you know we just be enamored by these larger than life people. And one day, one of the sergeant majors told us, he said, um, I'm a man just like you. I put my pants on one leg at a time just like you. So don't be, have the respect for the rank, have a respect for the person, but don't look at the person as if they are a god or as if they are larger than life, that they are men and women just like you. And so that's kind of what I want to impart to you all, that when you're watching these content creators and you're watching myself on the channel, we are a human just like you. We go through trials and tribulations just like you. We go through problems just like you. We have happy times just like you. And so sometimes you have to like remove yourself when things just don't fit for you. So that's the thing that I want to give off on this live, while I blab and talk, is just like, you know, sometimes if it ain't for you, it's cool to walk away. Sometimes it's cool to say no. Sometimes it's cool to just say I ain't got it. Sometimes it's just cool to not interrupt your peace and your happiness, because one monkey don't stop a show. So I just thought I'd talk about that, because I've been trying to give the person like the benefit of the doubt over and over and over again. And every time I do, and I go and check out the message that is being preached, um, I'm just like, it ain't for me. And you know what? The thing is that that person has, I don't want to say how many viewers they got, but they got a large viewership, and people want to hear what they're saying. And there's a group of people that actually runs behind the things that this person is saying, based off of the credibility based off the people that they work with in the past, and the things that they've done in the past. Now I haven't did too much research about their accolades, and I don't really care about that stuff. If they won Grammys, or if they won American Music Awards, or if they, I know that the people that have won those things deal with them, and I, you know, I think that maybe one day, far down in the future, if I'm able to watch that person and they come across with a better message, then maybe it would resonate better in my spirit about it. But for right now, it just ain't rocking. It just ain't rocking. So for me, when I want to be entertained and I want to learn stuff and I want to hear about, you know, I want to hear about how many outputs decibels is coming out of MPCX. I want to hear about the testing that you did that made, you know, the MPCX sound better, um, analog instead of everything digitally, or um, what it sounded like when you paired an MPCX with an Astrolab. Because that's what I do. I like to experiment. I like to pair different machines with different machines to see what outcomes I can get. And so, yeah, that's just what I do. And so when I'm looking on YouTube for people to be motivated by, and I shouldn't say that, not looking for people to be motivated by, but just people to learn from and understand what they do and how it compares to what I do and how I can make myself better in the process. You know what I'm saying? Because I hate this thing. I hate this statement, but it is a true statement where people say everybody don't know everything. I really hate that statement. But at the same time, it is true. There are people that don't. There are people that are very knowledgeable that know stuff, and there are, but they don't know everything. The only person that knows everything would be the the God in the universe that knows everything. So, but in this space, I think that it's very, and I think it's very, it's a requirement. I think as OGs in this environment, whether you have made it to the top as the biggest producer, whether you've um, been a mentor for people for many years, whether you have been around the game for a long time, I think it should be mandatory that you push artists to be great artists, that you push producers to be better producers, that you push yourself to be better than you were yesterday, than you were 5 years ago, than you were 10 years ago. I think that that should be a prerequisite for us, that we should check that box, that we always try to make ourselves better and everybody around us try to make everybody better than they were yesterday. Because there could be somebody that just started producing last week or last month or last year that figures something out faster than somebody that has been producing for 20 years or 10 years. It happens every day. I can tell you specifically, there is a content creator by the name of This World Needs a Hero. He is a musician. He plays guitar. I think he plays keys a little bit. Not sure if he plays the drums, but he hasn't been producing for as long as most producers have been producing. But he streams every day, twice a day, maybe 3 times a day. I know he streams in the morning when I wake up, and he's streaming at night when I go to bed. And he's producing music in his own way, doing what he does. And he hasn't been producing that long, but he has figured out his tools and he has figured out what works for him, and he's experimenting. And guess what? There are things that I learned from his stream that I hadn't figured out. Like, let's say specifically, let's talk about Ableton. Like, he uses Ableton to produce in, and he uses the MPC software to produce in. I'm good in the MPC software. I'm good on the standalone MPCs. But Ableton kicks my behind sometimes. I've learned so many things by watching him stream in his Ableton, using his equipment that he uses, and he hasn't been streaming as long as I've been streaming. He hasn't been producing as long as I've been streaming. So that don't mean anything, that you have longevity in this game. You can learn something from somebody who is brand new. You can learn something from somebody that's just getting started, because they're putting in the work. They're putting in their 10,000 hours. But anyway, I just wanted to jump on. I only wanted to get here and blab for a few minutes. If you're new to my channel and you have just started subscribing, thank you for subscribing. I try to stream every day. If you don't see me streaming, I'm taking a break. Taking time off. I have a podcast called The Grind 329 by Lonze Podcast, where I interview all of my friends who I think should be famous. They are people that write TV shows, people that write movies, I have friends that are well-known producers in the music industry, singers, um, people that do all kinds of things, but they don't put themselves out there like that to say that I'm this, that. And so what I like to do is when I when I find out that they do those kind of things, I kind of put them on the podcast and kind of like push them out there to the forefront so that everybody else in the world knows what it is that they do. Um, but on my channel, I have 40 drum machines, at least maybe more. And what I try to do is I try to facilitate using a combination of machines all the time. And I try to master as many of them as possible. So if you see at the top, it says I'm a drum machine specialist. So that is my moniker that I took on, that I want to become a drum machine specialist to where I specialize in whatever drum machine you can find in my studio. All right, so I think I blabbed enough. I'll tell you one last thing. I put out an expansion for the MPC, and it's called the three-piece expansion. And what I did was I took my favorite sounds from the MPCs, from the S2400, from Ableton, from everywhere that I have sounds, and I ran them through the S2400, baked 12-bit and 16-bit sounds into those sounds, and I put them out in an expansion. And yeah, get that expansion. And I thought that I had it saved down here somewhere, but I don't see it. So on another stream, I'll put that out there. The link to where you can find that expansion. But it's called the three-piece expansion. If you go to my YouTube page, you'll be able to find it in my recent posts. I have a picture of the expansion and actual link where you can find it. It's on Gumball. If you can find my page on Gumball, it's LONZA on Gumball, and you can find the expansions that I got out there. I got 3 expansions. The My Bad expansion that you can find on beatsbylonze.com for free, and then I have the second expansion, which is the S2400 Nitrous expansion, and then I have this third one, which is the 3-piece expansion. All right, well, thank you for watching this stream. I will stream tomorrow. We're working on the 12 days of Christmas. We have 12 drum machines, 12 beats, 1 beat tape that we'll release on Christmas. Y'all check that out. All right, peace out. Much love. Check you later.